So in the obscene spectacle that we saw a few days ago, where the Israeli hostages that Hamas released in exchange for Palestinian murderers and terrorists in a deeply, I think, immoral and dangerous deal, but nonetheless, I'm deeply relieved that they were released. Hamas intended to humiliate them on stage. I'm sure you would have seen the footage. But it turns out that they actually made a final act of defiance to spoil Hamas's photo op. And I want to read to you a report in the New York Post which talks about this. So the female Israeli hostages who were freed on Saturday disobeyed their Hamas captors, and they made victory poses during the handoff ceremony to spoil the terrorist photo op. And this has been revealed by one of their fathers. The revelation came as one of the ex-hostages spoke out, praising the Israeli military for fighting to free her during her long months in the clutches of the terror group. Eli Albag, whose daughter Liri was among the 4 soldiers freed over the weekend, said the women made the decision to subvert Hamas's celebration in Gaza City by staying quiet, despite being given orders to talk at the event. Liri and the other girls decided, we're not only not going to speak, we'll make victory gestures and spoil the whole show they'd planned, Albag told Radio 103, per a translation from the Times of Israel. During the ceremony, Liri, Karina Ariev, Naama Levy, and Daniela Gilboa could be seen smiling and waving at a large crowd of Hamas operatives and supporters gathered at Gaza City's Palestinian Square. Liri gave several thumbs-up poses as she waved to the crowd, with the women refusing to speak at the podium put in front of them. The moment they did the victory gestures, Hamas realised that they got themselves into a mess with these girls, took them down from the stage, and didn't let them speak, Albag said. Liri told the father that if Hamas did force her to speak at the event, she prepared a single sentence to say in Arabic. Quote, "My name is Liri Albag, and I'm number 1, she told her dad. On Tuesday, Levy wrote on Instagram that she is slowly recovering from her ordeal. After 477 days, I'm finally home. I'm safe and protected, surrounded by family and friends, and I'm feeling better by the day, she said. She also thanked Israeli combat soldiers and the Israeli people. All 4 hostages released Saturday had been part of an Israeli military surveillance unit and were kidnapped from the Nahal Oz military base on the Gaza border during Hamas' brutal attack on October 7, 2023. A 5th soldier who was abducted alongside them, Agam Berger, 20, is still being held in captivity. Levy in her post said the female soldiers were all held together for much of their time in captivity, and she is aching for Berger to be freed. We are waiting for Agami and the rest of the hostages to return so we can complete the recovery process, she said. The women were previously featured in Hamas propaganda videos covered in blood and injuries after Hamas slaughtered their fellow IDF soldiers inside the military base. Hamas has released 7 hostages so far as part of the ceasefire deal, with a total of 33 captives set to be freed in the first phase of the deal. Another 6 are set to be freed this week, starting Thursday, with Israeli officials believing that at least 8 of the hostages to be released are dead. Looming ahead still is the requirement for Israel and Hamas to begin on hashing out the deals for the next phase of the ceasefire deal, which was broadly outlined as seeing all the remaining hostages released and achieving a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Well, all I can really say about this is just the bravery that we are seeing from these young Israelis does not cease to amaze me. The bravery we've seen by the IDF and soldiers, by Hamas October 7th survivors, by those who have been held hostage and came back, and we hear of their stories. You know, just to say, having been through the worst kind of torture and terror and fear for over a year, then saying, I'm getting better by the day. To be able to wave to a crowd full of people who will you dead and have guns glaring in your direction. The bravery is just, it's otherworldly. We never realised the heroes that are amongst us today in this generation. For people that like to downplay or talk down the youth of today, well, certainly in Israel, it looks like we have one of our finest generations ever. And we're seeing this throughout Israel. Young people in Israel are responding to the call of the hour, to rededicate themselves to the Jewish people, to sacrificing for their people, and to doubling down on their pride in their Jewishness and their Judaism and their belief in life and spirituality and choosing life rather than succumbing to fear and destruction and death and chaos. It's just incredible. I can only speculate that this kind of strength comes from generations of Jews clinging to their faith and their values and their identity, despite time and again facing people who will our destruction. We stand on the shoulders of so many giants, but I would say so too in this generation, we are also seeing giants as well. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.